Hello everyone, today I'm gonna show you a couple of combos using the new Dark Magician card so you know how to play them. We're gonna go over a 2-card combo with Magician's Rod and Magician's Souls, a 1 and 2-card combo with the Primite engine, and a way to set up Sight Lock. First of all, let's go over what each card does. Dark Magician of Destruction is a level 8 Dark Spellcaster monster that can be fusion summoned or special summoned by banishing one level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster you control during a turn you activated the spell card. This card's name becomes DM while face up on the field or in the graveyard, and when this card special summon, you can add one Dark Magician or one card that mentions it from deck to hand. Timaeus the United Mighty Dragon is another DM fusion monster and it has 3 effects. After this card special summon, until the end of your next turn, this card is unaffected by other cards' effects. If this card battles during damage calculation, you can make this card gain 100 attack for each spell card in the graveyard and banishment, and during your opponent's turn, you can target one spell or trap card on the field and destroy it, and as you can see, this is the effect that allows you to go for the Sight Lock. And finally, the third card is the Gaze of Timaeus, and this card allows you to target one DM or DM Guru you control or in the graveyard and fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions it, only using it as material and shuffling it back to the deck. I tried to find good use for each of these cards. Let's go over the combos. Alright, so we're firstly gonna go over the Magician's Rod and Magician's Souls combo. We're gonna start by normal summoning the Magician's Rod here, and that will give you the ability to search, of course, Soul Servant, which is very nice start. From there, we're gonna be activating the Magician's Souls, and instead of going and special summoning Magician's Souls, we're actually gonna send it to the graveyard, and we're gonna special summon the GM because we can get easier access to the new DM of Destruction. Now we're gonna activate the Soul Servant here, and that will allow us to get on top of our deck the Apprentice Illusion Magician. This is gonna be an extra extender to use later on. Now we're gonna go Soul Servant and draw a card, and now because we activated the spell card already, we are able to go for the GM of Destruction and summon it, which will now give us the ability to get a search. Now here, the best option will be the Gaze of Timaeus because it's just a good card to fusion summon later. And now we're gonna link off 2 of our monsters into none other than Moon. Yes, I'm playing Fiendsmith, and I know what you're about to say, Fiendsmith. Yeah, it's very boring, but it's a good engine, so I decided to add it into the deck. So we're gonna go over it real quick. We're gonna activate now the Requiem, and that will leave us, of course, to the Lacrima. Then we're gonna be able to activate the Lacrima, and then we'll pitch to the graveyard the Engraver. From there, we're gonna be activating the Engraver and going for the Moon to shuffle it back into the deck. This way we can summon it to the field. Now from here, we're gonna be using 2 of our monsters to go into sequence, and we're gonna be immediately activating the sequence, not keeping the Lacrima in the graveyard to go for the Desiree, because now we're gonna be able to continue our plays because we have sequence already on the field. We get to special summon the Apprentice by pitching anything, so technically you go -1 here, and you can also get a search for the GM to the hand. Now this has its uses a little bit. There are 2 ways to use the GM in the hand. Either you get access to Timaeus or something to fusion summon, or you can also play in the Primite engine the Drill Beam, which I'm currently not playing, and that will essentially allow you to reveal the GM in the hand and banish something on the field, which is kind of a good removal. And now from here we can link off the sequence and Apprentice Magician for a couple of different things. We can either go Dagda and set up the Sight Lock right now, or we can go for SP, which is what I usually do because it takes no resources, or you can also go for Silhouette Rabbit, which I believe to be a decent option because you set the angel statue and you have additional interruptions. But for now, I'm just gonna go over the SP because I don't play Silhouette Rabbit. And now we're gonna go ahead and set the Gaze, and we're gonna be also activating the sequence, equipping it onto the Desiree, of course, and that will be our turn. Now keep in mind, you don't need to activate Gaze now because the monster will be banished, pardon me, during the end of the next turn. So you don't want to activate it now, you want to activate it during your opponent's turn. Alright, here we have it, the opponent's turn. We're gonna shuffle back the DM of Destruction, and then we're gonna be going into the Dragoon. And of course, you have a bunch of options what to go into, but clearly Dragoon is gonna be the best one. So that's clearly it for the 2-card combo. Let's move on to the Primite engine. Alright, so here we are, and we're gonna start the combo with Ether Barrel normal summon. Now, by the way, keep in mind, it is actually gonna be a little bit better if you just have the Worldly Load, because you don't actually need the barrel, which is kind of the not cool thing about it, because now you're gonna end up grabbing the Roar. And our goal here with Roar, even though it's not the most incredible card ever, is to essentially summon DM on the field. But to do that, we gotta empty our field. So now we're gonna have to tribute the barrel to send the DM to the grave. This is one of the reasons why I played 2 copies of DM in order to do that, by the way. And also now we're gonna be able to finally summon the GM. Unfortunately, as I said, it is gonna be a little bit better with Lord You Load, but it is what it is. Let's just get the GM on the field. Now because we've activated the spell card, we're able to go into the GM of Destruction really easily. And now here we're gonna get access to the again Gaze of Destruction, because Gaze of Timaeus, which is gonna be the best card. Now from here we're able to activate the effect of the Worldly Load. We're gonna target the GM, and now we're gonna summon it back to the field. From here though, you cannot use any monsters as effects, so you're gonna essentially link off into the IP, and you're gonna just set the Gaze and pass turn. And again, of course, when you have during your opponent's turn the ability to activate the Gaze, you're gonna do that, and you're gonna go again into the Dragoon and shuffle back the GM of Destruction, which is really good. And this is gonna be your 1-card combo with the Primite engine. Now let me show you the 2-card version. So for the 2-card combo, we're gonna go for Ether Barrel plus any extender, but Magician Soul is gonna be a little bit better one, and I'm gonna explain why in a little bit through the combo. Let's start by normal summoning the Ether Barrel. We're gonna do the exact same thing with it. Set the Worldly Load to the field, and then we're gonna be able to activate the Worldly Load. Now keep in mind, Worldly Load is actually gonna be an even better card to draw other than Ether Barrel, because you just go straight up for the Worldly Load and that's it. But anyways, let's now dump one of the GMs. Now we're gonna activate the Roar here. We're gonna pay 2k, and we're gonna be summoning the other GM onto the field, which is very good. And again, because we did activate a spell card, we get to go for the GM of Destruction. Now here things change slightly. We're gonna go for the Soul Servant now, because we have the ability to draw an extra card, because we can go for Magician Souls and we can dump to the graveyard the GM Gutto. That's the slight difference. And now we're gonna special summon the Magician Souls here, of course. And now we're gonna go over the Soul Servant. We're gonna set to the top of our deck the Gaze of Timaeus. But now the difference is gonna be we're gonna draw an extra card, and that's really it. I mean, you just go +1. You have the ability to activate Magician Souls and pitch the Worldly Load, but I'm actually not gonna do that because that's gonna be an extra extender during the end of our turn. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna link off into Moon again, just to go over the Fiendsmith engine, because hey, Fiendsmith is just very good, so let's just use it, right? Because we didn't get rid of the Worldly Load, we're able to extend our combos, so we can activate the Worldly Load now, and we can go for the Dagda. And now keep in mind, Dagda is gonna be the best target here, because when we activate Worldly Load, we cannot actually use the effect of other monsters, so it's gonna be a really good idea to just summon the Dagda right here, and then just go for Sequence and activate the effect, equipping it onto the Desiree, set the Gaze, and pass turn. And now during the opponent's turn, of course, we're gonna be able to activate the Gaze immediately. That will allow us to, of course, fusion summon, and we're again gonna shuffle back the GM of Destruction, and we're gonna chain, of course, the Dagda effect, which will allow us to set on the field the Sight, and that is gonna be how you set up the Sight lock. We can just go for the Timaeus. Unfortunately, I didn't find better use for Timaeus, so let me know if there's something that you can do with Timaeus other than that. But of course, we're just gonna activate it, and we're gonna be popping the Sight, because it doesn't specifically say a card on your opponent's side of the field, it just says a card on the field as per our trap card, right? So now we just set up the Sight lock, and yeah, our opponent can play the game. And we also have the Desiree on the field, and even if your opponent passes turn straight up and you don't have any follow-up, this is more than 8,000 life points, you're gonna end up winning the game. Keep in mind, Timaeus is also unaffected, which is very nice, and we also have a couple of cards in the hand, so we can use them if something comes up. But that's it for the combos. Now let's go to the deck profile. So this is the deck profile I'm using, and I'm gonna explain a couple of things that you can change. But first of all, for the GM core, we're playing the 2 DMs, the 1 DM Gutto, the 1 Timaeus, 2 copies of Rot. Even though Rot is gonna be really good by itself, it still doesn't do enough, so I would prioritize going for the Ether Barrel normal summon. We also have the Magician Souls playset, of course, the 1 Apprentice Illusion Magician, the playset of Illusion of Chaos, the 1 Secrets of Dark Magic, which still has its usage, but it's not as good as the Gaze, the 1 Gaze, and the 2 copies of Soul Servant. You only care about 2 of them, you don't need a third one. For the Fiendsmith engine, we play the Engraver, Lacrima, of course, with the Tract and the Luring, and also we have the Primite engine with Ether Barrel, the Worldly Load, and the 1 Roar. And now the final card is gonna be the Sight, and this is kind of the idea here to set up the Dagda lock. But if you don't want to play Sight, feel free to just cut it and cut the Dagda, and you can also even cut the Timaeus, because that's the best use for it in my opinion. And from there, you have the ability to add maybe the Drill Beam for the Primite engine, or you can also include something else if you find useful. And now for the non-engine, we play the 2 Maxi, the 3 Ash, the 2 Code Buy, and the Imperm, which is the standard package for Master Duel. This is a Master Duel deck list. Of course, if you want to play it in TCG, just cut the Lacrima, just cut the Maxi, and play whatever you want, right? Now for the extra deck, we have the 2 Dragoon, and both copies come up, so make sure to play it as a 2. We also have the 1 Timaeus, we have the 1 GM of Destruction, and this guy is actually needed only as a 1-up because you can recycle it pretty easily with the Gaze. We also have the Dark Magicians, which is a fusion monster that I didn't find much use of, but you can technically summon it. We also play the 1 Lacrima, Desiree, Requiem, Sequence, Agnum Day, and Moon for the Fiendsmith engine, and we have the IPSP, which is primarily used when you go for the 1-card combo with the Primite engine, and we have the Dagda and the Typhon. Typhon is a free slot, you can play whatever you want, it's just a decent card. And now the final engine I want to talk about is gonna be with the Spirit with the Eyes of Blue 2 copies, and the 1 Spheres, which you end up summoning afterwards, and then you go for the Spheres effect to tribute and summon Fallen of Albas. Although this is nice, I just don't like it because you gotta play the Field Spell and Fallen of Albas, which are 2 cards that you really don't want to see in your hand, and this is essentially what you prioritize summoning when you go for the Rot and Magician Souls, which is not that good of an idea because in my opinion Fiendsmith engine is gonna be better. It has better recyclability, it's self-efficient, and when you draw the cards you actually don't feel bad compared to drawing the Field Spell, for example. It feels terrible to do that, but of course you could play the Spirit with the Eyes of Blue engine, it is not bad, I just prefer to play other things. But essentially that's it for the deck profile, and that's everything I want to say about the DM cards. If there's anything I missed mentioning or you figured out something new, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to see more content in the channel, you can like and subscribe and check out more content, of course, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.